I've known Leif about 10 years. He was the Chief of Staff for the Maryland Department of Transportation when I went to work there as the Deputy Secretary, and I now get to work with him here in Washington on some projects related to Washington Union Station. Leif has a great sense of humor. It can also make him really fun to work with in addition to the technical skill that he brings. He's a great strategic thinker. He really knows the importance of good public policy. I've always enjoyed working with Leif, but I've also always learned a lot from Leif.
Our relationship as an organization with the development community hadn't been great prior to Mayor Bowser's administration, and so there was some work I needed to do. We've got a number of projects that we're working on in all 8 wards that are advancing the mayor's goals of a more inclusive and equitable city, and making sure that our development partners are really getting quality service from government agencies is vitally important to that. We recognize that developers are putting money at risk. They're seeking creative solutions. They've got whole teams of architects and builders and financiers that are supporting their efforts, and they need to have the government at the table with them, working in partnerships.
Washington Union Station is involved with projects both current and for the future. We're currently rehabilitating the station, and Leif, as a board member, is very involved in that. Amtrak is planning for a completely redeveloped station. It's going to double the Amtrak capacity, and the city's leadership and Leif's leadership is very important to the success of that project.
I've gotten a lot of good feedback from the development community, and I think we've been better at executing in a more timely fashion and being more transparent about what our objectives are as an organization. I'm excited about the future and DCBIA and other trade organizations that give us kind of a gauge of how well we're doing as a government agency.
I think it's great that he's winning this award because Leif has spent a good part of his career working to improve transportation services for people in this region. I think it's important to him that he gives back and that he makes things better than he found them. So it's really good to see that he's being recognized for that.
It's been a tremendous team effort from DDOT, and I think that cohesiveness that the group has brought to our work is really the explanation for why we're getting recognition. I don't think people fully appreciate the level of effort and the commitment within government agencies. To have a prominent organization like DCBIA recognize our team for leadership really means a lot.
DC, I think, is one of the most fabulous cities in the world. I love the city's architecture. I love the heartbeat of the city. To me, it's a place that offers opportunity because you have a government that recognizes and wants to assist all people in getting ahead. They offer opportunities for small businesses, for minority-owned businesses, and that was something that I found extremely appealing when I made the decision to move here.
DCBIA is the most prestigious organization in Washington, and to be honored and acknowledged by them, I can't think of anyone better than Freddie Lewis.
I've been very fortunate, very blessed to have been a part of a wide spectrum of projects and developments that have had a catalytic impact on communities throughout the DC area. Projects like Oak Street Market, I was involved in helping the previous owner develop a partnership with Roadside Development to not only transform this property, but to also help to transform this neighborhood.
She's built a brand. She's built a great company, one of the few real estate brokerage firms in Washington. She's a representation for women, and especially women of color, and she's proud of it.
The thought of making change, the thought of impacting the lives of people, in particular in those neighborhoods that were retail deserts, to see their excitement, that also excites me.
She is community-based, civil-based. That is in her spirit. That is in her soul. That is nothing she has to go out and earn or learn how to do. That is simply Freddie.
I definitely would like to say thank you to DCBIA, the board. It was quite a surprise. I am very grateful and very humbled by the thought that they thought enough of me and the work that I've done in this city to recognize me in this manner. I can only say thank you to them, thank you to all of my friends and colleagues in this room tonight. I will continue to move forward and to help those who are trying to get ahead in this industry.
I first met Richard Lake in 2002 on a rooftop, which is a fortuitous place for architects to meet their first client. At the time, he had sort of that blank slate look of an owner who had just purchased a large property and was trying to envision what to do with it. It's both exhilarating and terrifying at the same time. I knew with that conversation, the way that went, that we would hit it off. We're now on our third project together with a couple more in the planning stages in 15 years. Not bad for Washington.
I was born in Washington Hospital Center, so it's kind of neat to come back and touch neighborhoods that I used to have some connection to. For instance, in Tenleytown, my father owned a restaurant in Cleveland Park for 30 some odd years, and it was always kind of cool going by the old Sears building or going to get parts for my dad and to be able to do that project. And City Market O, where we took an 1881 market building that collapsed in a snowstorm. And we brought that back to life and incorporated the largest grocery store in the city. This was the collision point of the community, bringing that back to life and folding the rest of the architecture of these buildings into it. Really, I think, differentiated it from anything else.
Roadside Development has a real passion for mixed-use projects. The entire team believes in creating quality experiences for our tenants.
One of the things I like best about what we do is we get involved with the community. We work with neighbors and other stakeholders to build a vision that we all can get behind, a vision of what everybody wants. And then to see it turn into reality is immensely satisfying.
What's fascinating about the city is working with the historic fabric. Everything isn't just a blank, clean slate. You're adaptively reusing buildings and putting new architecture next to old architecture. Richard and Armin and Todd believe in the power of the human spirit and human creativity, and they really believe in the transformative power of architecture and development.
DCBIA plays a big role in talking about affordable housing, the size of units, how do we attract other corporations whose jobs are here, so people want to continue to move here. So it's a complete cycle, and this economic activity is like pushing a big boulder up a hill. You can't stop, and once you stop, it rolls back onto you. So we need all the help of DCBIA and other organizations that focus on the proper way for the city to continue to grow.
It's quite an honor for Roadside to get an award from the DCBIA. It's an important organization to all developers in Washington. To be among some of the top developers in town that have won this award in the past is an incredible honor.
Although we're extremely proud to be honored tonight, these projects take an army of people who are dedicated to building something that's everlasting. And one of the most important things to us is that whatever we do is actually endearing and enduring, meaning that it is actually going to stay part of the fabric and continue to be something important to the neighborhoods in which we have an opportunity and the honor to build in.